here and there. So this class will be very, very good for us if we're all listening. That was right? Okay. Color. So color is a very funny thing that I've not yet understood. According to this note, they said color is a visual perception based on the electromagnetic spectrum. No, that's why no physics can maybe share some light on that. Though color is not an inherent property of matter. This one self shocked me. Color perception is related to an object's light absorption, reflection, emission spectra, and interface. Let's start at the beginning as a refresher on the basics. Remember learning about primary and secondary colors in school? For those of us that went to school, some people feel like they don't go to school here. I will not mention names. Then you already have some knowledge about color theory. For those of us that drew color while we were in school, right? So on the color theory, we know that for primary colors, we have red, yellow. Is it red, yellow? It's more like red, blue. Blue and primary color, big guys. Secondary colors are created combining two primary colors. Red and yellow make orange, yellow and blue makes green, and blue and red makes what? Purple. So we have red, yellow, and blue as our primary colors. If we mix colors together, we can even, if we mix these colors together, we can get even more in between shades like red, orange, yellow, green, and all together they form what's called the color wheel. Right, so now that you know about the color wheel, it is, and please, if you have questions, do well to ask while I'm going. You can just cut me. Right, so I was going to say something before I continue. Right, so when it comes to color, right, so it just seems to amaze me that color is not a property of matter. Like it depends on the kind of light that flashing. So I'm still thinking about that one for one part. So there is this color called white, and there's this color called black, right? So black is the absence of color, right? Yeah, it's the absence of color, which is like the absence of light. Once there's no color, there's no light. That's black for you. While white is the presence of all colors. If you pick up a bucket and mix all the colors together, the solution will be white. That also amazes me because I still don't understand how that's going to happen. But from research, it has been figured that if you put all the colors together, it will form white. Right? So, okay, there's everything here, Seth. Come to the form like I teach from my head. Now that you know about color wheel, let us take one step further with hue, saturation, and value. These are some terms you might not encounter in daily life, but they are key to understanding the more nuisance of color. Like all those little paint chips at home, at the home improvement store. If we mix these colors together, we can get even more in between shades like red and more, okay, like from the color wheel. Yeah. So if you look at the color wheel, if you want to draw it on your own, you just have to know where to place your red. This one does not feel perfect to me. Okay, red, your blue, and your yellow. Right, I was going to say like red is at the top here, blue is on this side, and yellow on this side. Anyway, let's just continue. So what is a hue? A hue is another name for color, right? So as a designer, you would say, wow, the hue for this project is so and so. You can say color, you can say hue, right? So it counts as saying color. White saturation is as how thick or the intensity of a color, right? So the lighter the color, you say the saturation is low, right? So if you remove saturation from a color, it tends towards black or black and white image, right? So if you remove the saturation from an image like we did last time, if you remove the saturation, it tends towards a black and white image, right? So saturation is the intensity of a color. More color, more saturation, less color, right? So hue is also another word for color. Value has to do with how dark or light the color is, ranging from black to white. As you can see below, this gives you many different shades from deep reddish brown to light pastel pink, right? So if we said that so for saturations, right, we said it is the intensity of the color, low saturation, high saturation, right? So when you say saturation is not like a different color. Saturation is that color itself with either a low or high saturation. While value is, like you're saying, let us bring another value of red. To achieve another value of red, right? You now make it, you add black to it, or you add white. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? Are we following? Can you guys hear me? Someone should speak so I'll know I'm not alone.
We can hear you.
Okay, so to achieve a value of the particular value of a part of any color, you choose the color and you add black to it or you add white to it, right? So that gives you different shades of the same color, right? So I think you will see something like this. Let me say, uh, different different value, different color blue, different value of colors, right? Let's see. So I think that will explain. I'm trying to share. Right, like I was saying, yeah. So let's look for a good example. Look at this, right? So you notice all these colors on this part, right? So you would say like in the middle is where you have the actual colors, like this middle. If you can see my screen, this middle, right? So this part you have less value, right? This part you have a high value. So they either call them value or tone or shades, right, of the same color. So these are like different values of the same color, different values of the same color, different values of the same color. So I believe with this little illustration, you understand what the value is. Wow. Sorry, let me fix this real quick. Make it 60. Let's go back. Okay. So creating color schemes, right? So while you're working on the project, you cannot just be using your colors randomly, right? So you want to create the color schemes you're going to. You can't just say, okay, as I'm working on this project, I'm going to use red, or maybe as you feel. It's always better you choose your color palettes or your color schemes before you start the particular project, right? So how do we put this all together to create a professional looking color scheme? There are actually tried and true formulas based on something called color harmony that can help. Color harmony uses the color wheel to illustrate time-tested color combinations we always explore. We'll explore some of the most common types of color harmony below, right? So the first one is what they call the monochromatic color scheme, right? So if you're choosing a project for your work, like let's say you have a project, let me see something we can play with. Let's see how we can get a brief generator to generate a brief for us, and we'll work on how to create a color palette for that particular brief. So that doing this is going to like walk you through how you choose your color palettes for your particular project. So let's say industry technology type billboard, no brand identity, or let's say website. Okay, good. Because this is UI. So we'll generate. Wow, nice. So you know the company is what? Starfire. Company description. Like so this is like a brief, right? So we're a company that develops new ways to be healthy by combining blockchain technologies with the ease of use. Our main product is a website that you can use offline and implement years of scientific discovery. And implement years of scientific discovery. Our target audience is couples. We want to convey a sense of victory while at the same time being kind. Wow. You must generate a website that will mainly spread brand awareness. The goal is to increase sales. Besides the landing page, the website we need an about page, product page, and a term of service page. The landing page should have our values section. There should be a call to action to get users to subscribe to the newsletter. They would they would prefer a minimal design and would like you to use the brand color, which is green. Take into account the client's preference and value. So let's imagine they did not tell us that the brand color is green, right? So which color do we think is going to work? I'm showing this to the class. Which colors do you think is going to work? So if someone does not say something, I'm going to call your name. I'm going to call someone from the blues. All right. So if I can you speak?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if I how you doing?
That's
All right. So according to that brief I just read through, yeah. So what color do you think is going to work for the what color do you think is going to work for the brand Starfire, right? So let me see, let me see. What do I want to do now? Okay. Blue. Someone says blue. Why Ikechukwu, why do you think it's blue? And the way things are going, right? We can, if I am not done with you, if I have to turn off the mic, you still share your own answer. So Ikechukwu, you can send a message, so you can just type a message here, right? So blue, someone said blue. Why blue? I have an answer for why blue, but I just want someone to share. And like I said, there are no wrong and right answers for my class. I just want people to make an attempt. That way, you'll follow along. If you have not said anything yet, you've not answered my question.
Black for me.
Black. Why? Why black?
I
I'll
don't
get
know.
back to you. Let me.
Black is a bit elegant. Maybe if it's like a Tesla type of company. But I also have a question because I'm not even sure I understand this. Your goodbrief.io. You understand?
Okay. So ask the question.
Okay, so this Good Brief website, is it a like dummy website for design briefs, or it is like what's it supposed to be?
It's just a site where, as a designer, you're on your own. You want to work on project and don't know what to do. You can just come here to come up with a brief and design.
Okay, so that
Like to
means
get
not an actual real company.
No, these are not real companies. These are just general. This
Oh,
is just somebody or some AI tool that is coming up with this shit.
okay.
So
I'll
you
see
have
black
something to
and
work.
white for Starfire. It gives me this Tesla vibe. For blue, I think blue works with finance companies. Like,
Yeah, blue. They are changing it to this app. You know Wise. I don't know if you have seen Wise online now. They've been really trending and all stuff. They did green. I
gray.
think according to the green.
Oh,
They
green.
did a
Okay.
rebrand and they used green and it was awesome. Like I
Okay.
was looking at the stuff yesterday and it was blowing my mind.
No, so it's a different place that would now do the green, not the good brief dot.
You said?
So this place they don't come up with it. They only give you
Sorry guys.
situations.
Okay, you're recording. This
I
class is
agree
recorded,
with
right?
for Ikechukwu. Green is more of agriculture and healthcare.
Green is more of no. Don't say don't. Things are changing now. Green is
No, I
more of
don't have an issue.
agriculture.
You said there's no
Yeah.
right or wrong question. There's no right or wrong
Okay, yeah.
answer. We're just like
Blue is also
then.
commanding and
Sorry,
attractive. Yeah.
this good brief CC, yeah, it's only supposed to give you a brief. You can now use this brief and work on whatever. So they don't also bring the answers for you. They don't show you examples of
They don't show
this
you
is what
anything. No, they just give you.
just give you a brief to work on. Okay.
Yeah. Can you see
Okay.
Wise? This is
Yeah.
a fintech app, like a global fintech app like this, converting
Probably
naira to dollar.
invest in
It's actually
agriculture, I
lovely.
guess. But it's nice.
Like, it's actually
As
really
in,
lovely.
I used to have issues with green. Yeah, I used to have issues with green as a designer. I still do. But the way this guy has pulled it off, and right, I was like, so who can tell me, okay,
Is it the same Wise
according to
It's
or
what I
really
another
lovely.
Wise?
this is Wise now. I don't know if there's another Wise. So this
Did they
is this thing
rebrand?
Wise. They rebranded. Yeah, they did a rebrand.
I don't know.
Right. So if you look at this color they use for their project, for this rebrand, can you see that it's more of green?
Yeah.
We can call this kind of let me see this. We call this a monochromatic color scheme. Right? Look at it here. Can you see? It's a monochromatic color scheme. You go to the color wheel, pick your color, and you get different values for that particular color and stick to it, right? So in essence, the easiest formula for harmony is monochromatic because it only uses one color or hue or one hue to create a monochromatic color scheme. Pick a spot on the color wheel and then use your knowledge of saturation and value to create variations. The best thing about monochromatic color scheme is that they are guaranteed to match. The colors suit each other perfectly because they are all from the same family. Do we understand what monochromatic color schemes are now?
Yes, but sorry, I wanted to
Yes.
ask something. So whereby you have the
Yeah,
primary and
please.
secondary. whereby you have a primary and secondary color. So let's say a brand identity has been done for that brand already, and they have a brand guideline, and the designer who did the brand identity for that brand already has a primary and secondary color for the brand. Would you be able to apply this monochromic, or what did you call it, when probably doing the websites?
All right. That's awesome. That's a good question. Right. Okay. So when you, let's say you have a monochromatic color scheme for your project, and this is the primary color for the brand, and you want like have like a secondary color, right? So there's already, once you say it's primary and secondary color, it automatically starts to tell you that, okay, this set of colors are for this set of things, and these colors are for certain things. So primary color, like this is the main color of the brand. If you look at this Wise, let's use Wise as example. It's obvious to see that the primary color is green, right? So I think they have that monochromatic color scheme for their primary color, and they're always using green. Then you have like white and black for. Yeah, you said?
I said green, white, and black.
Yeah, right. So we'll now say that if you check here, you see some other colors, the secondary colors. Can you see? Can you see this light
I
blue
prefer
here?
this teal blue. I prefer that teal blue on websites.
Right. So you now see this. So this can tell you that these are the secondary colors. Let me see something. There's a site where I go to get some stuff.
I don't know if what Wise are trying to achieve from this their new redesign though, but maybe I'll keep watching and seeing what they're trying to establish, because that green, I don't know, it feels a bit off from where they're coming from, and I don't know what they're trying to push now though. Did they give have they been like an explanation to their brand, their redesign? The reason for their redesign?
So research you have to come in. That's what I'm trying to do here. If I find them here, maybe these people don't have a Wise. Or are you serious? Let me see.
Is it Wise with Z or with S?
It's spelled Y-I-Z-E.
Are you serious? Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Can you see? So that like Ikechukwu said blue, right? So blue was like their first brand color. Oh, thank God you have everything here. Oh, awesome. So let's go to the color palette. So like, just so you know, so this is like a free tip. This is what this site is called, underconsideration.com/brand new, right? So usually I think it's like 900 naira, 800 naira a month. And if you don't have money, you can like send a mail to them. They can give you like a free access or something. Yeah, so you can be using it, right? So there you have like, you see a brand case study. That's for brand identity designers though. This were more focused on brand identity. So I'm trying to look for the color palette, right? So I was talking, let me continue why this loads, right? So I was saying something about the color palette where you have green and the values of green for primary color. And so secondary color is just, you cannot use it all the time, because if you use your primary color, there's some brands that have primary, secondary, and tertiary colors as the full color brand, right? So we can't just use all of them. It will be chaotic because there will be too many color everywhere, right? So you have to now be specific and say, okay, that's where a brand guide comes in and say, okay, for this so and so, primary colors always be used. Then for some certain things, like if you see the way they use it here on Wise, let's go to their website. They didn't use these other colors. It's like their secondary colors. It's just light and just on some few places. If you notice, if you go up, you see them. You can see how they have this pattern here, right? So they don't usually. Sometimes you come off the brand, you will not even see the secondary color until something happens. Maybe an event that they want to do, and they want to like connect with that event. Yeah, you said.
Is it on social media designs?
Yeah, exactly on the social media designs. That's why you see that secondary colors, right? So another color. So if I ask that question, right? So that's how we use it. So you can't just use all together. You have like your primary colors for, which is basic brand color for everything that they do. Then for some parts of it, I think that part will come in. We'll soon get there. I don't know if we'll get there today or next week. It's called the 60-30-10 rule. So your primary color is mostly on the 60% of usage, secondary color 30% and 10%, depending on what you're working on. We'll get there. I'll teach that later. So now, for now, analogous color schemes use colors that are next to each other on the color wheel, like red and oranges or blue and greens. Don't be afraid to play with this palette and create your own unique interpretation. That's what Color Harmony is all about. Formulas are merely starting points to help you guide or inspire you, right? So for this particular case, if you want to follow this style, you choose any color, your main color, and move 3 steps in the direction that you want. If you want to go this way, it still works for you. If you want to go this way, it still works for you, right? It will always match. If you go this way, it always match. If you go this way, you always match. So you always get a good brand, a good color for your project, right? So for the analogous, if you remember, we choose one color and create different values. For monochromatic version, we choose one color and we get different values, tints or shades for that particular color. That's for the monochromatic color schemes. And for the analogous color schemes, we choose the color that we want, usually from our brand guide now that we just read, from our brief that we just read that talked about, say green. We can use this project and say, okay, this particular color scheme, I say, okay, let's do green, lemon. I don't know, but I like this one more, this particular shades of color more than this one. Anyone will just work. Once you are choosing that color and take your 3 steps, and that 3 steps, okay, 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4, as much as you want. That is for analogous. The next is complementary. This is where you see colors opposite each other on the wheel. For instance, blue and orange, or classic red and green. For the classic red and green, so if you choose this color here, a matching color will be the one exactly opposite. That is where the Christmas color palette was chosen from, right? They just picked red and the opposite one is green, and right, begin to to avoid complementary color schemes that are too simplistic. Add some variety by introducing lighter, darker, or desaturated tones. Like what they did here, they basically just chose red and green and chose different value of red and green again. Can you see that? And that works. As the thing about colors, they may be different value of the same color, but on your project, they are colors on their own. This one that is light green, you can say this is a lighter version of green, but on screens, it's a color on its own. So it has its own color code where you can say, okay, I want to get this particular green, this particular shade of green. Or you can instead of to call it shade, this particular green, then you put in the color code and it just appears. All right, so on the screen, like when there's on light, I think they say on the light spectrum, though there are different shades, but they are colors by themselves. So the next is split complementary. Let me see. Okay, yeah. So for split complementary, complementary color schemes use the color on either side of the complement of the color wheel. They complement each other. Okay, I understand what they mean by complement, right? So since if you have chosen red, and according to the what's it called? Complementary, right? So once you choose your color, the next one that complements it is what? Green. But for split complementary, if you choose this color, you go sideways, the blue and the light green, if I'm allowed to use that word, right? So this is another formula. Split. So we have the analogous, monochromatic, complementary, and split complementary. For monochromatic, it is one color with different values. For analogous, right, it is one color with the different steps in one direction. For complementary, you have a color and the next color is the one on the opposite color on the color wheel, right? Then maybe you can decide to do different values of the same color. Then this last one is what? This fourth one is split complementary, where you choose a color and instead of you to choose the one that is opposite it, you go sideways. So you have this triangular shape. So you choose the main color you want and you go this way. So you can try it. You can say, okay, let's choose orange. And the one opposite orange is this shade of blue, right? I think, yeah, it's this one, right? So that means orange you work with this purple and this blue, as if we're using the complementary style. The triadic color scheme uses 3 colors that are evenly spaced, forming a perfect triangle on the wheel. These combinations, can you guys hear me? Let me, this one on screen is full like this. Hope I have not been kicked out. Okay, I'm here. So once you say something, so I know you guys are fully. Let me not feel like I'm talking to myself, please. Right. So the next is are you following?
Yes, we are.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Right. So we spoke about split complementary. Then the next one is triadic. Triadic color schemes uses 3 colors that are evenly spaced, forming a perfect triangle. This combination tends to be pretty striking, especially when they introduce primary or secondary colors. So be mindful when using this one. I have never used this before on the project because the colors are very, very loud, right? So for my personality, I'm not so much of a loud person, so I don't like to use this kind of colors. But like I was saying, depending on the particular project, if you're on a project maybe for children or something and you want the colors to be really loud, this can be a way to go, right? So if you notice, they use this is the color wheel that they use when creating the Joker. The next is triadic. So the same thing like the triadic, we have the tetradic, right? The triadic is the triangular evenly spaced color on the colors on the color wheels, while the triadic is the color scheme that forms the rectangle on the color wheel. So right, so generally when you do all of these things, you just go to Google, look for the color wheel, right? So we do something like so. Look for a perfect one and begin to use your color palette, your tool to pick them. Something I think this works. All right, let's play with this one. So I can save image like so. All right, so we'll go to Figma. Let's come somewhere like here. So we have an idea. Sorry. So you begin to say, okay, for my color palette, this is where right. So you can just say, okay, this one, you come here. What I will do, let's do the tetradic, I mean, what is that English called? The rectangular one. What is it called again? Sorry. Triadic, tetradic. English. We should be teaching in our local language in this country. It will make sense. So let's do this. Right. So let's do rectangle. Right. Rectangle like so. Then this one. And this one. Can you see that? So this is the tetradic color scheme for your project. That's your primary colors. So then you can be like, okay, let's do monochromatic. So it'll be like something like so. Then you come to this one. So you look for a curve. Is here. So either go light, do a curve like so. Go light or go dark, right? So for this second one, let's go light for the monochromatic. I think this is not light enough. Go. Okay. So you take it so you know. Sorry. Okay, so we'll go again. I'll come somewhere here, like so. And sorry. And okay, I like to pick from this for one first so I know where the color is. So that's where it is. So we'll move a little further somewhere here. Notice I did not go straight. You always try to take a curve. That way you get the perfect shade. Take a curve. If you're going lighter, take a curve. If you're going darker, take a curve, depending on where the color is. So this is for monochromatic, right? So if you continue this way, just like what I've done, you can continue the processes from the monochromatic, analogous, split complementary, and all of that. So that way, that's one way using this formula, you can choose your colors, right? So are there any questions while we move on? Does anybody have a question?
Brian, can you hear me? I want to ask.
I can hear you.
When you're choosing the colors, those shapes, you can choose any of the colors, not just specific ones.
I didn't get that.
I don't know how to explain. So, okay, for example, when you want to use the triadic, the triangle can be pointing to any of those colors. The shape can turn any of those colors.
Yeah. So usually, right, your brand will guide you to the main color, the particular color you want to use. So I was saying things like what I say. If it wasn't green, someone said blue because it's a fintech app, right? There's blockchain, healthy.
Okay.
Like we are a company that develops new ways to be healthy by combining blockchain technology with ease of use, right? So I think they will be saying, okay, as you are jogging, they give you coins, right, to make you healthy and also encourage you by giving you maybe Bitcoins, the rest will encourage you, right? So that's some kind of fintech app also, while it's a healthy health app, right? So health app, someone said green is a good idea for health app. Blue is also a good idea for an health app, right? So that from that case now, I've chosen color. We've said blue, we say green. So once you now choose that color, then you can now just say, okay, from here, blue. Then you now do your style. If you want to do triadic, you do 1, 2, right? That's the triadic. If you want to do tetradic, right? You choose this, like so. If you want to do monochromatic, right? You choose your blue and the different shades of blue. Analogous, you choose your blue and you either go downwards. This is a health app, right? And it's financial. Now, green has been known to be money. So we can go downward and say these 4 colors are the color palettes. So do you get now?
Yes. Thank you.
The next thing is avoiding common mistakes, right? So there are a few classic do's and don'ts when it comes to colors. For instance, if you've ever seen colors that seem to vibrate when they are placed next to each other, can you see how it's vibrating, like it's trying to hurt your eyes and all of that? So try not to make this mistake. It usually happens more often with red and blue, but it happens also with other colors, right? So how do you know that that is the case? Once you choose the color and you put them together, we usually have this test when we do this like this. It would be like so. We bring one color here like this, and we do this. We put it on top, right? So when you do something like this, you begin to see there's some things that happen. Sometimes some colors the behavior of the color changes when they are in different colors, right? Can you see? So this case, this is not vibrating. Can you see? It's not vibrating. I don't know if we can achieve a vibrating color yet today. Let me see. It won't vibrate because of the way we chose it. We use the color scheme, which is the
I
monochromatic.
think
Let's say
lemon
we
and
did not.
orange would vibrate though. Like inside each other, they will look.
Yeah, this is vibrating. Can you guys see that it's vibrating?
Yes.
This is vibrating. Lemon and green. Let me see if you are correct. Something like this, right?
No, lemon and orange, or lemon and red too. No, lemon and orange.
Okay.
This is okay. I don't think this is vibrating.
This is not vibrating, no.
Yellow and red.
But you get the idea though. Right? So yeah? Someone say something.
Yellow and red.
Yellow and red, have you?
Yep.
Doesn't seem to vibrate. It's
Not
not
this yellow.
vibrating.
This gold yellow.
This is okay, this is not the okay.
Yeah, like all
This is
these
like-
really
Yellow and red
shiny
actually go
yellow.
very well.
Yeah, it goes very well for you.
It is surprising that yellow and red goes very well actually.
So this is
Very,
not
very well.
vibrating.
Yellow and red
This is not vibrating.
at all.
This is vibrating, no.
Yeah. No, it's
This is
not
not yellow.
though,
This is not
really.
yellow.
Like,
Yellow works well with red.
I
You want to
actually
make this-
really enjoy working with yellow and red. Like they are a
Especially if you work for a
beautiful
food brand,
combination. God.
yellow and red
On
works very well.
fonts,
Ah,
I think it won't work on fonts.
Fonts.
Yeah.
No, I don't
Oh
think it's
no,
going
no,
to
go
work on
back.
fonts.
That's green
Green,
and
that green and red. Yeah,
green and
green
red
and
just
red.
bounce back.
Yeah.
Aha,
Yeah,
this one vibrates.
Yes.
It's really, yeah, we got it. This is vibrating really bad. Right. So when you see this kind of things, there's a way to actually solve it, right? So like this one now, there are a few classic do's and don'ts. You've read this. A solution is to tone it down literally and turn it down literally. And there's a simple way to do this. Start with one color and try to adjusting the lightness of that. Is just generally adjusting the value, right? So readability is an important factor when in any design. Your color should be legible and easy on the eyes, especially when working with text. Yes, your color should be readable and easy on the eyes. And also for accessibilities, some people have color blindness, so they may not see some colors, right? For this case, they may not even see this one because it will appear as dark gray and light gray, so they may not see it, right? So, but this, I don't know if it's my eyes. It's still vibrating itself, but you get the
so
point,
it's
right?
okay. The
It's
other
okay.
one,
Yeah.
my eye is paining me already.
Sorry, man. Let me move it out. Okay. All right. Okay. I've come here. Let me see. Okay. This is an interesting part of this project. Right, let me just fix that and I will continue. I think I missed it. Where is it? Where is it? When I get there. All right. So that's like the first part of the color class, right? So are there any questions? I believe there should be questions now before we continue to the second part. I want to see the color palette for Wise. So we'll notice that what the difference between the new logo and the old one. They changed the typeface and kept the logo.
the font, yeah.
Yeah, they changed the font and still kept the logo. So that's why I always tell people
And then
when working on a
the
brand,
flag is actually bolder.
The font
The
change,
flag
the
is
icon,
bolder.
the icon is wider.
The icon,
yes,
the
they
icon
brought
is
the really,
thicker, like it's bolder.
Yeah.
mhm,
In fact, everything is bold.
mhm.
I'm still trying to understand why they use this gray.
If you do when you read all of this stuff, you get it's a
Oh,
case
By
study,
the
so
time
you
you
see
see the reason, it's going to shock
the
you.
challenge that they went
Like
through, why they
it
even
will
got
so
on the
shock.
rebrand.
yeah, I know. Yeah, the other blue was too light. Yeah, I can understand that.
They are saying this is that because of you are seeing the new identity.
No,
That's why
I
you're
know.
saying that it's too
Actually, like
light.
I've seen it right from time that it's light. More especially the icon.
But if
The
you
icon
ask me,
has
it works. It's
So
not like it's a
I
bad,
personally
it's a very nice
think
brand. Mm.
I personally
Yeah, you're
think
saying.
they are trying to relate it to their physical cash. You know, the
Yeah,
dollar
the
note
logo.
has some elements of green.
green. Oh,
Like
I
it has
see.
this very colorful outlook. So it has
I think
green, like
the green thing
the
has been something that has been out there. The Western culture tried to sell to us that green means money. If you notice all the movies we watch, cartoons, you see where they use green to signify that it's money.
exactly,
Yeah, there's nothing
exactly.
wrong with that, but different cultures can decide to say, okay, for our own culture, green is not our color for money. Exactly. So that's why
Yeah,
they
but
use
then
that.
why is it
So and it
majorly
works
in the US?
because they have the Western culture have successfully sold to everyone. Why is the green majorly in the UI? Hmm?
No, he's saying why
Someone
is
say
it?
No, I
something, I
said
didn't get
US,
it.
He's
US,
saying
US.
We look at the UI.
why
Let's
is
play
it
this one
majorly
sec.
in US? In US, that's what
But
he's
it
saying.
works where the thing is popping. Like I like the patterns
I
that they
actually
have.
really like the green. Like I
And
love
like I
it.
was saying, for
As
instance, the
in,
30, the 60, 30 rule,
Yeah.
it grows on you.
I know, but probably when you get to see it, like when it comes to your eyes very well,
See
you
now,
get to
it pops, man.
you get used to it. Yeah.
This that designed it would
Mhm.
have been very proud of himself right now. Like I chose the green. I want to see like a color palette thingy. Just show us more cups here.
By the way,
I would have loved
these
I
are
would have
comments.
loved that green having some patterns behind it.
All right, so let's.
It probably would have brought out the
You'd have loved
beauty,
what?
some patterns behind the application of that green. So into
No,
that
I love
billboard.
What they did now,
I
they now
love the
use
way
it
they are
like they use
playing.
the pattern. See the way they use it. So I think it's nice
I
too.
love the way
It gives like a clean
playing.
feel.
Jesus.
So you don't see the patterns like a but
I love
naturally
it. Like it's just
like on the background.
ah
In the background, like so, Abby.
Yeah, exactly. So that it's not just
God.
blank like that.
I want to go to the US. I mean, ah,
At the end of the day,
No, don't worry,
mm,
you will soon design this watch your center. Billboard, you put billboard there, don't worry.
all right, so let's continue. Are there any question?
Yeah, so I wanted to ask,
All right, no question.
what's it called? So are the rules are they breaking the rules now? Because I know yes, there are rules to color palette and color palette. Are they breaking the rules now that so not color palettes
That's
now,
the thing
color
about design. There's a little art in it. Yeah, there's a little art in design.
okay, are they
Sorry, continue breaking the rules.
yeah, breaking the rules to industries having
Psychology.
different colors. The industry having different colors now. Are the
Is that what
rules
you're trying to say?
I mean, in terms of industries now, so let's say agriculture, grain, healthcare, this sector has this color. Are they breaking that rule now, or designers are just creating
so
their own?
Ike,
Yeah.
sorry, Brian.
Mhm.
Brian, do you mind if I answer Ike?
Chindu,
Hello?
continue now.
Can Brian
Chindu,
hear
you
me?
want to say something?
Okay.
We can hear you. We
Yeah.
can hear you.
So okay, there are no laid down rules that companies have to follow when they are picking brand colors. Normally, color represents certain things. Each color has a meaning. Blue, red, black, gold, brown, all of that. So when you are doing like a business or a brand that has something to do with earth, yes, you use brown because brown is like the color of the soil, sand. Some people use dark red because that's the color of clay. So different, but then you can actually go outside the box. There's no laid down rule. There's no principle that you must follow. There's no agency that watches whether you use the appropriate color for your industry. That because you are in the food industry, you must use yellow and red.
And red.
Or because you are in the children, this thing, you have to use multicolors. Or because you are in the fashion business, you have to use serif fonts or you have to use gold. Nah, it's just so. I for one, I personally like this wise rebrand because I always like doing things differently. I like stepping out of the usual, and I think that was what they did because normally the reason why most fintech companies use blue is because blue is a color that speaks trust. So normally when you see blue, there's that idea of trust. Okay, these people are dependable. These people are trustworthy and all. But I like the way they just went outside that space and now did something. So everybody who understands branding or who understands color and sees them using a green monochrome palette, they will be shocked, and then it's going to attract them. Like it's going to, okay, why did these people use this color? Why did these people change this into green? And then it draws them towards this thing. Like I really like the color palette that these
Right.
guys
So
use, especially
to add
that
to
dark
what you have
green.
said, yeah.
Like
If you
and the
to add to
combination.
what you have said,
Yeah.
What you
Can
said
you
made a
zoom,
lot of sense.
can you zoom in into that this thing? I want to see the back.
What
Yeah.
what you have said made a lot of sense, right? So the another thing why I think they even use green, like I said before, there is this perception that this Western culture have sold to us that green is the color of money. And this is like a global brand. If you notice, there's France, there's euro, there's dollar, there's pound, there's naira, every type of you can convert. There's dirham, yeah, peso, yen, there's yen. Can you see? So this is like a global money exchange. For this thing is it's a really nice.
I want to
The
get
product is a
value.
global product. So they
Never has
need to
value,
find.
sha.
You said?
I say never get value, sha.
Naira, yeah, I just read the spoiler. I just
Now
Nigerian
with
to
the
spoiler.
spoiler, there's no
Yeah.
series yet.
Let's not go there. I was going to say that. I was going to say that, yeah. So it's a global brand. So they needed to find the color that communicates with everybody. You know, if you notice, when it comes to color, some cultures have different meaning to color. Right? Some colors have like the LGBTQ have turned the rainbow to what they use for their identification. If you go to Dubai, the rainbow does not mean LGBTQ, right? So if you go to Japan, they have to at the end of the day, you have to find something that works. So you don't have issues when you go and do your own color. You don't use blue. You go to one country and they not tell that blue means love. Does not mean this. This, red, this. Before you know, your brand will not work there. So I think this green idea works because somehow the Western culture have sold to the world that green means money in their movies, news, everywhere you see green, green, and even in the you say, hey, give me some greens, that kind of thing. So I think it's a good idea. But they took it further by using these patterns and it really made a lot of sense. Yeah. Can you see these patterns that they have in the background, like this kind of paints, wall, and they made it on the
Yeah.
coins, right?
Yeah.
And it's really, really nice. So, and this is really, really good color usage. A
So,
mixture of
I
clean,
think that
yeah.
pattern.
One,
Sorry,
yeah,
hi
continue.
Brian, can you hear me? Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we can
think
hear
that
you.
pattern is inspired by that authenticity
I can
label.
hear you, yes.
I don't know the name they call it. That when you're holding money, there's that line, there's that thread that goes in and out of the money. That when you look at it from different angles, it has different colors
Mm.
and different this thing. I think that is what inspired their pattern. I don't know. I'm still going to go and check this thing
Anyway,
to
I'll
see.
take my time
All right.
to
But anyways, I'm still going
It's
to
figure
not
it out,
try
only
to
right?
find the angle.
Okay, like this is the old
it's
one
only
before. I
Naira
think
that
maybe
has
this is
that
the
this
old
thing
one.
now.
Okay, okay, I think I understand what you're saying. This kind of style, when it comes to money, they usually put like some kind of protection thing, eh? Okay. Anyway, so
Yeah.
let's continue the class.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
creating your first color palette, you are now the other color palette. Mm, so the color schemes we've talked about before, you can still use them for your UI, right? But at the end of the day, the way UI or your app UI is something people are going to engage with almost all the time. Unlike when it's a brand color that people engage with it only once on a while, like maybe they're on social media, they see your adverts, they're passing, they see your billboard. But if somebody has your app, right? So if you notice on this Wise app, I don't know why I keep coming here, but I won't. Their work is good, right? Wait, their up or right. So you see, people, no matter what, people will not always see their advert somewhere. But once you have the app in your phone and you're using the app, you spend more time here. I don't want to give people too much. We don't want to stress people. We want to make things easy. That is why, if you have noticed, most apps will try to use gray, more white, and a little bit of the primary color, which is what brought about the color, the 60-30 rule. Let's just continue so you get, right? So you guys will understand. Define your primary colors. The primary colors is the first thing you should decide on. Primary colors is displayed most frequently across your screens and is used to point users to UI focal points. Points where you want them to take action, points where you want them to see something, right? That's where your primary colors will always go. Ideally, you should have 1 to 3 primary colors easily associated with your brand or products, right? That's it, nothing more, not too much colors. Either one. Some brands, like I think MTN uses only yellow. They use only yellow. So you have like white and black for other things, but it's just yellow, right? So depending on the brand and the idea you're trying to share, you either use 1 or 3, not more than 3. The rest will be secondary colors. Sometimes that means not using colors, at least not in every little detail. Oh, I missed this thing. Oh, sorry. This is supposed to be like on the other part of the class, not this part. But let's just continue, Sha. Neutral colors like black, white, and gray can help you balance your design. So when you do use color, it really stands out, right? So even if you have your primary colors, you want to use black, white, and gray on places where there will be, you want people to read. When people are going to read, people are going to stay longer on that particular part of your project. You want to use black, white, and gray because it's always easier for people to consume your product in a place where the colors are not too much. Choosing the right colors. Every color sends a message. It is important to consider the tone of your project and choose a color palette that fits. For example, bright colors tends to have a fun or modern vibe. Desaturated colors often appear as more serious or business-like. Sometimes it just depends on the context. With the practice and creativity, there's no limit to what you can do. Right? If you notice here, you have too many colors. Right? You have too many colors here, and here you have just right. So the same brand, but here they use a lot of white and gray and one primary color. Can you see where this is the primary color? Then this part where the illustration is, you now see the what secondary colors, right? So like this is a really nice way to show you how to use your colors, right? So one of the primary color, usually everywhere on the focal point where you want people to see stuff, use the primary color that really fits the brand. The next is use your whites on your background or gray or black. Then you now use your secondary colors for your illustrations and patterns. Finding inspirations. How do you get these colors, right? So we can find ideas for color schemes in all kinds of interesting places, from advertising and branding. This is why I like to watch TV, because when I watch TV, like when you watch the cable, you see how they use colors in their adverts, their motion graphics, their breakers. You see how they use the colors. And from there, you can get ideas and you'll be able to play around with your, even from there, you can even see the design trends going on. You can even use a web resource or browse color palettes to generate your own. Experienced designers often take inspiration from the world around them. There's nothing wrong with finding something you like and make it your own. That's one thing about colors too. Colors can be stolen. You cannot form and say, if a brand uses this particular color, if another brand decide to use it, I don't think there are going to be issues because it can be gotten from anywhere, right? So, but at the end of the day, what differentiates them is how do they use it? Right? You cannot come and steal their green and still steal their and still steal these their secondary colors. See the brown and the pink, the blue and the dark. I don't know. And see how they use secondary colors and you come and steal this one too. And that would be wrong because it's not like, even if nobody said anything, your users will notice that this color looks like Wizo, and you don't want that kind of thing on your brand. So let's play around different ways to select, to choose or get inspired with colors. Right. So let's do that. I think okay, so let's do that. One of the ways I usually do it is I go to, depending on the project, right? So let's go to Unsplash. According to our brief, we said what the fintech company, blockchain, blah blah blah, health, right? So let's get a color inspiration from a photograph, right? So let's say blockchain. Okay, I like it. I like where this is going. But this one is not free. This image is not free. These people. Okay, well, this is blue. We say we should do green. I like this too. I like this. So you just pick a high definition photograph that just tells a little story that is close to what you're working on. Let me do health instead. Let me see.
Oh, there was one there.
I'm coming. On that blockchain part.
Yeah, there was one up that had
I like
FT.
this. FT. Okay, I'll go back and check it. So you generally just go around like to get the colors. I like this. I like where this is going. So this is for health, right? So let's go back and check what you're saying about. Yeah, you see the root FT.
Go up, back, go up, go up, back, up.
This
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
This is up. This one.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, the green on it.
Okay, let's see how we can play. Yeah, it's very unique green. Yeah. So while that is loading, let's bring our images to Figma. It's taking forever. Right, so I'll come back there. So let's get inspired by this photograph. Remember, tech, blockchain, and health. So you can just do something like so. So there's the saying that photographs always have a way of picking the right colors, or nature has a way of picking the right colors. So you can do this, do this. Good. So this is a color palette for a particular project. Let's keep it one part. We can do the same. So let's do this one. I think usually you can even play around. So this is what we'll do. You can add more colors if you want to, then you can choose 3 from them or just 4. Let me see if this one has, okay, yeah, this is it. All right, so this is how you just play around the colors. Oh, this is nice. This is amazing.
This
This is
one
nice
gives
for
like
our
kind of
what's
a
it called?
monochromatic feel. I'll be analogous.
Yes,
It's
yes,
really
it's
nice. It's calm on the eyes.
monochromatic. Very calm. So this is just me playing, right? You can choose any, you can have more than 5, more than 10 color selection. Then you not choose right on main one you want to work with. Orange. Got it. Also, since their brand is green, this works. Since they say it's green, this works. If they allow me to choose blue, I think this works for me. So what some people can do is they can do this like so, right? They can do this. So I'm not saying that we're choosing all of them. This is just me bringing up 2 options. So let's move these guys away. Then we'll do something like so. You bring out different shades of each color just to work with it. So you're not limited to any, right? So right, so this is not white. As you can see, it's not white. So let's move. We can't go upward because it's close to white, so we have to go down. Have to follow the curve. So choose that one, go down. Yeah, like so. Sorry. Go down. Go down, right? So the same thing happens here. Then go down. Go down. Difference is not so much. Go down.
Sorry, can you take
Mhm.
can you give more spacing when choosing your curve? Is that right?
It's up to you, depending on the vibe. Yeah, depends.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends on. So I can continue like that, but you get the idea. So just have different shades of the same. Then you begin to work your way. The same thing happens here too. No, this one is just like my own option, but it doesn't count. But this is one we're using for this project, right? So let me just finish it. Let me see how fast I can go. So, but if you're going to the spacing, yeah, you're going to try to repeat the same spacing for all of them. So I don't have this one darker than this one. So because any line should be able to work with each other. Do you guys understand what I just said? You want to be consistent with your spacing. Like now, I don't think I'm even consistent because I'm kind of in a hurry, so I can finish the notes. Calm down a little bit. Okay. So same thing here. Well, okay, so if you notice, we're all coming down. That's because the first one. So we have to follow what the first. If there were opportunity for us to go up, maybe we would have gone up. But same thing here. I think I made a mistake now. All right, so there you have it. Because yeah, okay. Are there any questions?
So like that palette now, you already have a secondary and primary color, right? Or they're just a primary color?
Yeah, these are just primary colors.
Okay.
Sorry. These are just primary colors. So you have to like choose your secondary colors again. So I think where you can even say, okay, for my secondary colors, I can pick colors from here and use any of those other formula. Maybe your triadic or monochromatic. No, monochromatic will not work because we already have a monochromatic system here. So you can just go analogous also and choose secondary colors. Secondary color must not be like, can be only two. Then you can still have like your whites, black, and grays. And when they say white, black, and gray, sometimes your white, you can tell that's okay for my white is not going to be normal white. This color can be my white because it's very close to white. And if it's going to create that difference, that contrast between you and other brands, because everybody's going to use the normal white, while your own white is a little different. Then you choose your black and your gray. Brand, I think Apple uses the normal uses this black. Android does not use. Android uses something lighter, so I think this is something like this one. Like if you notice the dark mode here, can you see the dark mode here? It's not black, it's dark gray. So depending on what you want to do, then this is your gray. So if you don't want to use your black, choose this one. And so this is your black. I think for this case, it should be a little bit more contrast. Are we good? So putting it all together, everywhere you look, there are colors, there are colors and more colors. It can be intimidating to use it in your work, but it doesn't have to be. Just keep experimenting. I remember what you have learned about color theory. Soon choosing great looking colors will feel like a second nature, right? So another way to choose color, this is one way to choose color using pictures. Another way to choose colors would be going online and using color tools. Like I think there's one, color.io. Let me see this one, colorlovers.com. Okay, this one is Color Lovers. It showed me this one, right? So you see different color palettes. You just scroll. You can choose one from here. You can see view more. And you choose the different tools out there. You can see there is color.io. That helps you choose. I think color.io is for photographs, for video people. And it's not even free. I push you go. There's Adobe Color. So you can use those color tools. Oh, this is palette now. This is a pattern, sorry, not color. But this can help you. You can choose color here. So palette color. So you just put the color you want. Let's say purple. So this is Adobe Color, right? So you have your analogous, monochromatic, triadic, all the things we just learned. So how do you use it? You choose your main color first. It's your main color and position it to, let's say, green. Analogous, right? So using the analogous method to choose these 5 colors for you. Monochromatic, can you see? Let's go back to. Then you can even try to split them. Okay. Right, that's for monochromatic, triadic. Can you see triadic? So you move on to see what you want. Complementary. You can come closer like so, you can see from afar. But remember, complementary is what? Opposites. Then split complementary. You can see that split complementary. Split complementary is the one that it goes sideways. Right? It goes sideways. This is the complementary version that you now go sideways to choose the color that works. Double split complementary is that tetrahedric. Let me not bite my tongue, please. But you get what I'm saying. So the reason why this one is different is because there are 5, right? So one tetra, for the tetra, you just have 1, 2, 3, 4, and you have 5, right? There's one have the square. You have the square version 2, right? So this way you can, and when you're done, you can download them. You can create your monochromatic version of all of them. Can you see? You can just save it. Save and you use it. Compound, shades. So shade is like complementary, but it does. Sorry, shade is like monochromatic, but it's not. Can you see monochromatic? You can do this, but for shades, you just have place. You just remove, create different value. Just create different value. That's another way to choose colors. Are we good? Are there any questions? Are we still in class?
Yes,
Yes,
we are with you, right?
Okay. Okay. All right. So the next is finding your whites and blacks, like your white, black, and gray. How do you choose them? The only rule here is not to use an absolute white and black. Absolute black and white can exhaust eyes when reading or performing actions. Can imagine reading from a white background in the middle of the night. Can really exhaust the eyes, right? Then whites. So instead of using this, F is for white. That is full colors. F. That is for white. Y 00000 is for black, right? So that is white has 100% color luminance and black has 0%. That means presence of all color, absence of color, such an imparity makes intense contrast, which is harder for human eyes to adapt when navigating and reading. That's why we try to use the black background instead of white. Avoid using pure black on pure white, especially on large areas. The best thing you would, since even now, this one is a little hard on the eyes, right? But it's not. I don't think it's advisable. Self, you can like use grays to make them lighter, but because these are just this is just a slide, right? So after this time, you'll not use it again. Imagine it's an app where you'll be using it every time, every day, every day, every day. It's advisable that you use more grays, so it's not the light does not affect the eyes too much. So avoid using pure black on pure white, especially on large areas. The best thing would be to use a limited grayscale palette made from natural black colors with added white tints. That is to create different values of your black. Here is a quick example you can apply it to your project. So you can apply this to your project anytime. Can you see the different gray? So if you don't want to use pure white, you can use it as your white and use it as your black. Then the middle is the grays, depending on what you are working on. Now, use the same accent colors. Accent colors are colors used to signal user information about success, error, warning. Use schematic colors if you want. So schematic colors are like colors that actually mean red means danger. That is schematic color. Can you see? So success means green. Some brand want to use blue, right? So if you want to say, okay, let me to use the natural schematic colors to mean my own, okay, let me create new colors to mean danger, to mean this. Right? Like you can say, okay, for this, let me use this blue for success, purple for warning, and it's orange for red. You can do that, but you have to be able to communicate it properly. So when people see it, they get an idea. That's where the challenge. If you cannot do that, just simply go with the normal one and say, okay, accent colors for warning, for error, for success, and you're great, right? So to highlight a vital UI status, positive or alert information, I would use your schematic colors for. To validate text field or error colors like toggle checkboxes, right? To give fast visual feedback in a new in-app message. Consistency is key. The same color for both your links and buttons. By doing this, you will help users spot interactive elements quickly, right? So where you have links, buttons, connections, and different stuff, you want to use the same consistent color. So let's say if you're using blue for links, you always see that they always like our white here uses that they're lemon green for their links. Okay, yeah, it's because it's the normal black and white for links. Active button, over. Can you see the over? Only there isn't gray here. This obviously doesn't look like brilliant white, so it's just a lighter version, like we just talked about. There isn't gray, and this is green. This is a dark version of green, like deep towards black for their gray. There is their black on so not too brilliant white, so it doesn't hurt the eyes. Same here too. Can you see that? Can you see here? I think I want schematic color here. Can you see the blue to communicate that what you have done as what is successful? Since they're awesome, yeah, since they've already used green for their full branding, you can't repeat green here again. You can, but it'd be nice to like differentiate when you're trying to communicate something than when it's just good. So obviously now you see the color black, the background, the gray of this. Can you see a lot of gray here instead of black? Even it's not just black, it's gray, so it's easy to read. And if they're going to do a dark mode, it's going to be this their green, this their dark green. All right, let me check this their brand guide. We'll see their app more. This is the old, okay. No app. Show us one app. Okay, just one image. This is a onboarding page. But generally, you get what I'm talking about, though. About your accent colors. The 60-30 rule. The technique comes from real-world design, but it's pretty fits for digital products. The 60 plus 30 plus 10% rule works because it brings the feel of balance and helps the eye to move smoothly from the city area to another, guiding the user's eye through the interface. Now, this is the rule. It is simple. It is simple. 60% of your space is for your primary color. 30% is for your secondary or supportive color. Then 10% is for your accents or guiding color, right? If you look at this one, accent color is like this is the button, background color, and what? Okay, this is background, this is foreground, right? So and also you can also change it. You can flip it. You can say, okay, this one should be for background, this one should be for, but if you do also, if you always keep your 60-30 rule, 60-30-10 rule, it will always work, right? Now for this one, 60% of your space primary, so the primary color here obviously is blue, right? So you can either use blue for your primary color as the main place, or use your whites, right? That's why if you notice on whites, they do not use green as their full the full background color, right? So they use their primary color as 30% of the primary color, and the accent color is what 10%, which for the button, right? So depending on if you want to do let's say you're doing a dark mode now, it will now flip. For a dark mode, you're having like the dark green for the background, then you have whites for the text, or maybe that very light gray for the text, and you now have your what accent colors. So that way you don't use too much color on your app, so that it doesn't start stressing people's eyes. So it's very, very simple. But when your UI instructor comes, it's going to really maybe make it easier for you to understand. Because there they will show you their design systems for colors, then that way you'll be able to implement them. But this is generally basic ideas for the 60-30%, 60-30% rule. One of the very, let me just do this quick, sorry. One of the very cool tricks is to use nature or architecture to inspire your unique color scheme. There are plenty of tools on the web that can help you generate a color palette from an image. Here's my personal favorite that you can easily use. So these are the ones you can use. You can use color.co. Albemic is a sketch plugin. So image palette is a Figma plugin. So these are some examples that you can use, like tools you can use online to help you make your color decisions. Contrast is your friend. If you want to focus your user's attention on a specific action, it is good to use a high contrasting color to help them find focal points. Like I said before, we always want to use contrast so that they can see. But you have to be careful so it does not hurt their eyes. Such color as blue and green and red will quickly tell the context even before the user reads the button. Right. So you obviously see, once you see green, you know that it's for success, right? Contrast helps to distinguish various text and non-text elements. Higher contrast makes the image more comfortable to see, and reduced contrast can give a more flat tone to the image. Like what's happening here. It has a very flat tone to the image. Contrast ratio is what, 2.5.1. While contrast ratio, you see when contrast is very, very high, easy to read, easy to what, understand. So if you check the same thing here, the contrast is always there. The color between this green and this white, the text, right? Emphasis on the part that they want you to see first. So your eyes generally move from this app, from the card to this action that they want you to take to this words. This is a navigation bar, so it does not really matter. What matters is what action they want you to add money, they want you to see your card detail, they want you to freeze a particular card. Like that. So right, even some okay, yeah, on this page you see what white background or gray background, green text, every green text, right? They are still using the 60, 30, 10% rule. Here, you're not seeing the accent color because, right, there's no need for that. There's no action here. Any other slide? I think we're done. We're done with today's class. Any questions, please? Let's see if you have their old brand identity. I think this is their old one. Okay, so you can fill your attendance. Are there any questions?
None from my end.
Okay. Is this it? This is TransferWise, not Wise.
Good evening, Brian.
This
Yeah,
was
good
the
evening.
one before
I
the Wise.
think they are the
Before
one.
the
They
Wise.
were transfer wise before wise.
They are the one, but
I have
this is
questions.
the
Okay.
third one. Third one you go.
Yeah, someone said they had
Brian,
questions.
someone said she has a question.
Yeah, ask a question. Someone said they have questions. You should ask now. Who's that? I hear the lady's voice.
Yeah, good evening. I have questions.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, ask.
I was logged out during that period where you were selecting pictures to pick color from. So by the time I logged in, by the time I yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, but you are breaking.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good evening. Can you hear me? Yes, I'm asking.
Yes.
I said that I was logged out. So by the time I logged in again, so you were selecting pictures. So by the time I logged in, it was I don't know. Yes, I don't know. I don't know how you generate those color from the pictures. I was
Okay,
logged
okay.
out during that time.
All right. All right. Let me do it again. So,
Sorry.
okay, that's fine. So basically what we did was for any particular project you want to do, right? For this case, what we did was we used this brief, right? So this brief is a brief about a blockchain technology and health app. So we thought that, okay, for blockchain, they already give us a color to use, which is green, right? So we said, okay, let us try something, let us play around it, right? So we went to now look for images that has to do with blockchain and health. That was where we were able to download these images, right? This is health because if you notice, it is a lot of vegetables, fruits, health. This is technology. There's some kind of DNA thing going on here, and this is what NFT, which is blockchain, right? So, from what we did was we just drew some squares. So the amount of squares is up to the designer, because you want to decide the amount of colors that you need, right? So you just be like, so then you begin to choose your colors from the image, right? So let's go with the health version first. So you select your first square, you choose, obviously that looks like white, choose the green, choose this one here, choose, so you can have more than, I think we can have one more. This is a lot lighter. Yeah, so that's it for this one. So we've gotten it, so we can work with this color palette because it's green, like they said. But we also wanted to have our own idea because we felt like, okay, that's green. Let's come up with something for ourselves. Right. So we now went to this blockchain, which I think is really nice. So we'll do this one, like so. Choose something here, like so. This is okay. Yeah, I could choose this one, like so. And I think I've chosen that before. Let me choose something different. So like I said, you can choose more than one color, right? You can you can choose more than 5. You can have up to, like, let's say you can have something like this. So you have, let's say, like this amount of colors, and you begin to choose one. Okay, let's work with just this 4, or let's work with, just choose one that you want to work with. After you have done that, you can decide to create. Can you see what I did here? Like, we created a monochrome version of all the colors in case we want to work with them on a UI version. How do they do that? Let me try this one. Let me do this one. Okay.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, speak up. Let's use this one.
Yes, I got this part. I was.
You got this part?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Any other question?
None from me.
Wow. All right. Are we all good? Oyeka, are you good? Ikechukwu, are you good?
Yes, I'm
Are
good.
we done? Okay.
Yeah, we are good. Thank you, Brian.
Elsie, it's up to you. While waiting for, let me check on your.
Yes, I am good.
Okay. Nokia did not. Yeah, so a lot of people did not like. Okay, yeah, Nokia shared their work here. Let's see. A lot of people were saying stuff about they don't like the branding and all this stuff. I'm like, guy, why don't you like it? Are you among the team? Can't do your research and find out why they did what they did, because there's always a reason why they do what they do. So people will just be on their own, be forming. I don't like
Oh,
it.
have
It's
you
not nice.
seen
It's not
Kia,
correct.
their new brand? Kia, their rebrand.
Yeah, I've seen it.
As
I like
in,
it
that
though,
branding is mad.
and it helped
I
them
honestly don't
because
understand this
something happened when they
Nokia's
did that.
rebrand though.
I think they're moving from mobile
Yeah, there's
phones.
this Norwegian style of design. That's why it's like this. No, they're leaving mobile phone. They're a full tech company now, not just mobile
Yeah,
phone
they're
again.
moving away
They
from
sell
mobile
mobile
phone. That's why they rebranded.
Mm. Yeah, they're moving away from mobile phone.
Is that Kia own that is so sweet? Like it took me time before I could like each time I see that car, I'm like, which logo is this? Which car brand is this? It was one day and also I stumbled on their
I kind of
rebrand
prefer
online. I
Kia
was
for
like,
my logo
what?
though.
They rebranded like 4 times. That 3 or 4 times.
See, they're into robotics too.
I kind
That
of
is their
think
mobile.
Nokia's former logo was timeless actually. I don't know. I think
Obviously,
it
now,
was really, really
obviously, see,
timeless.
Nokia former logo is timeless. It will always work. But I think they wanted something brand new because they're doing. See, they have a B2B business. They have a lot of things going on now. It's not just mobile phone again. So they felt like people tied that their logo to mobile. So if they continue using it,
Yeah.
people will be like, oh, that's Nokia now. They'll just pass. They'll not
Just
be like,
like
hey, what are
Samsung
they doing
too.
now?
Just like Samsung.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah,
this
good
guy
though.
Samsung, what they do is they have to, like, you see Samsung mobile. That's why they know that this one is the mobile. They have Samsung, other parts of Samsung, but for you to know that this one is the mobile part, you always see that indication, Samsung mobile there. But Nokia didn't want to do say one is mobile, one is not. They just add like a brand new name because if they just have the old one, you just be passing and you see Nokia. Maybe advertising this their robotics. You don't check to see what are they talking about. You just decide that it's not Nokia again. But those are phone, they make sense. So just pass. I don't know if that makes sense. But since it's a new brand, you want to like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, what are they doing? Yeah, you want to now know. Of which they succeeded in doing that. People now, if you see this new logo, you know that this is not just about mobile anymore. They have other things that are doing. And if you're interested, you have to go and find out.
shall not go back into brand identity design by.
Yeah. God. Brand identity is fun. It's more fun
Forget
than
to
UI
brand editing
design. Yeah.
design is beautiful as well.
Like
It's
I've
sweet
missed it.
and it's sweet.
Just look at how they are applying their colors everywhere. Like
In the
from
environment, everywhere.
the environment, like it. I think they are trying to explain each department in their company has different color. I think that's what they are doing here. That's what they did in this video.
Mm.
I need to leave this country, I swear. Oh God.
Oh boy,
Hmm.
can't believe it's yesterday, not today. They felt that Nigeria
Ah,
had to help us to make us feel good so that we can still stay by
Just
voting Peter
just
Obi, but they don't allow us, so everybody will go
just
now.
look at event branding. Say event branding is mad.
Mm.
right.
I miss as in this. I really
Mm.
miss this part of design. Like event branding is mad. Well, probably they know they pay well for Nigeria. That's the problem.
Let me stop recording.
So there, guys. Yeah. Um. Okay. Yeah.